Hi there, here's a couple of exercises that will incorporate breathing, so rib cage breathing, pelvic floor and abdominal engagement in a seated position. So in a seated position, I'm on this hard surface. I can identify my two sit bones, so the space between the sit bones. So if you think of your pelvic floor like a diamond shape, so I've got the front passage, back passage, and that little pull-up, so the little draw up of the pelvic floor. Some of you might be familiar with Kegel exercises, little pelvic floor contractions, just to identify those muscles in between those two sit bones, and that diamond can make up of the tailbone and pubic bone, the two sit bones, right? So when I draw up and relax and draw and then relax, kind of like you're pulling a tissue out of a box. So that light engagement as you draw up and relax, and you can bring a bit of breath into that then. So if you breathe in, gently into the ribs, stay relaxed through the neck and the jaw area. Feel the ribs expand, feel the lungs fill, and then as you breathe out, a gentle draw, kind of 30% of maximum contraction. Some people like to think about the visual of the elevator. So when you're coming from the base of the pelvis to the base of the ribs, if you were to maximize your contraction of your pelvic floor and you're bringing it up to the top floor, it's kind of unrealistic. It's hard to kind of keep that, maintain that. So then from there, you could even bring it up to the belly button, that would be halfway, and then less, just bring it between the pubic bone and the belly button, just on the kind of bikini line, waistline, yeah? So that light engagement, so you breathe into the ribs, and then draw up with the pelvic floor on the exhale. Breathe in, and engage. Breathe in, and engage. Whether you feel the ab wall coming on or not, it doesn't really matter, because we'll bring the abs into the equation in a minute. Some people do feel their ab wall when they engage their pelvic floor, others don't. I think the key thing to remember when engaging the pelvic floor is to do not over clenching the back passage. Sometimes that can cause issues kind of elsewhere, such as in the SI joint, or contribute to lower back pain. Or obviously, if you're a female, you go to a women's health professional to get checked to see if you're tight through the pelvic floor or weak through the pelvic floor, or if it's just mainstream kind of conditioning of the pelvic floor. Then it's just trying to try to get that initial awareness that your pelvic floor is part of pelvic stability, which can help in pelvic stability itself. It can help in reducing lower back pain. It can help in the integration of engaging the abdominals to help with spinal strengthening, functional movement, and different things, such as later then progressing into how you're performing in running, golfing, and different sports, rugby and so on, football. Yeah, just different things. Yeah, so it's all integrated into this pelvic stability, and it's part of it, right? So in this seated position. So then to bring it then further together into abdominal connection, then we try breathe into the ribs. Feel the ribs expand again, trying to stay out of the neck here, that you don't create too much tension in the neck, and then draw up at the pelvic floor, and then draw in the abs. When you're drawing in the abs, I think it depends on where you're coming from with it, but I prefer that you don't pull in your abs as hard as you can, because one, you're compressing your organs, two, you're overworking your ab wall, which you won't be able to maintain that. Three, you could be unnecessarily creating kind of tight bands, such as in your inguinal ligaments and your obliques as well, and unnecessarily overworking your ab wall. So in Pilates, what we look at is just this mild engagement. You could even practice kind of like pulling in without breathing or without pelvic floor, just that gentle pull in. Feel the tightness, even like even let it be integrated, kind of coming from your obliques to your center. I kind of like this where you kind of have these arrows kind of coming into the center. A lot of people have weakness in through the center of the ab wall, so sometimes it's even nice to feel, can you kind of cave out your abs? You might even get a little bit of a caving out there and scooping in on the base of the ribs here allows us to get a kind of a potential stretch on the diaphragm, and also a little bit of upper transabs awareness, or if you're dominant and kind of like constantly pushing out, or if you're dominant in your external ab wall, rectus abdominis here. These are the areas that just kind of allows us to get a little bit more dimension in what we're doing in our ab wall, and then how we're functioning and so on, and then it's just allowing us to be freer in our body, right? So you breathe into the ribs. Gentle inhale, draw up the pelvic floor, and a mild recruitment. So you breathe in, and draw up and pull in. So on my inhale, I'm trying to keep this kind of engaged to the best of my ability, and then I let my abs go then when I'm finished with the exercise. So you could try that. You can start off doing those with kind of like a set of 8 or a set of 10 and see how you get on. But just try with the pelvic floor first. Make sure when you're breathing that you're not breathing into your neck. Directly upright in your body. Make sure you're not discomfort in the lower back area. And then exploring then with your efforts of recruiting with a little bit of endurance there, and see how you get on with that. Alright, so that's just a little review on some breathing and some pelvic floor. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you liked it. Take care.